Has a passion and purpose to assist young men, ages 15 to 24, to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. She wants to see every young man live out their potential. She has a master's degree in human services counseling, with a major in life coaching. More importantly, she is the mother of 3 boys, who are exceptional, educated, professional men. Coach Deborah believes it is better to train early, rather than need to fix later. She utilizes basic principles and God-led concepts. Sometimes the only thing a young man has is their credibility or their name. The actions they take are based on the decisions they make. Those decisions align with their choices and result in consequences. Coach Deborah can assist you if you are lost, floundering, or confused. Embrace the help and start building your best life today.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Build Your Best Life. I'm Coach Deborah, and I am super excited to be here today. As always, as you know, this is my passion to equip our young men, to help them to see that they can overcome obstacles and build their best lives. So I'm always excited. And welcome, Isaiah. Thank you for coming on Build Your Best Life.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Great. I'm glad to have you today. And we're going to hear a little bit about him in a second. I'm excited to have him on here because he is doing a lot of great things. And so I can't wait to hear about those. But you know, this month we are talking about blueprint for a great dad, blueprint of a great dad, our great father. So we've been having a lot of great tips on how our men can step up and be in that space for our young men, because we want our young men to be the best that they can be. So I'm excited to have another topic on that. And as soon as we get through our introduction, I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But I do want to thank everyone for all of your prayers, for making sure that you comment, you like, and you share, because that's the only way that we can get this content all over the world, because young men, as well as their mothers, single mothers who need that encouragement. If we don't like and share content, not only from Build Your Best Life, but other platforms, then we can't get that information to those people that really, really need it. So please like and share. So Isaiah, please tell us about yourself and what you love to do.
Absolutely. So first of all, my name is Isaiah Rucker Jr. I'm the founder and CEO of Unloaded LLC. I'm also the president of Big Impact Alliance, and both of our organizations are that we develop leaders. So we talk about leadership principles, we talk about personal and professional development, but there's some intricacies that we balance out, and then we kind of just support each other with events, and we do different services and products to just maintain consistency in the community. So I work with motivational speakers across the nation. I help individuals who want to be published authors. I help them become published authors. I help them with their books. I also go out into the community and just kind of help paint houses, bring back the value in the communities with community gardens and things in that magnitude. We just have fun doing the work and just jumping into the community and just continue to cultivate what's good and what's there, so we can kind of uplift the people that's already there.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. It sounds like you're doing some great work, so keep it up. And you can tell people how to find you and see what you're doing later on before you leave us today. But I want to give a shout out to Dan. Thank you for tuning in. Agnes, hello. And Deacon Holmes, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you are back. I missed you getting on here. I hope you had a great time. A wonderful Father's Day, but welcome back. So again, today we're talking about the blueprint of a great dad. And our topic today is win-win. Win-win. We focus here on teaching young men how to be successful, and dads are needed to guide, lead, teach, and groom them. But having their dads to teach them, especially in some areas, is essential for young men and their families in the future that they may have. So Isaiah, what attributes and skills would you require from I know you have daughters, so what skills and attributes would you require from the perfect mate to be a suitable partner for your daughters?
That's a great question. That's a really great question. So I thought about this a little bit. Let's see, for a life partner to be suitable for my daughters, they must embody the core values such as integrity, I would say empathy, be reliable, and be effective communicators in crucial times. I think it's important to have the foundation of being able to form strong relationships, even outside of the relationship that they have, and so they can have proper support systems. I think they should definitely be supportive and encouraging, understanding how to foster an environment where both partners in the relationship can thrive individually and together. So when I look at somebody that's suitable, they should definitely demonstrate financial responsibility. I think that's and the ability to provide emotional and practical support that ensures a stable and nurturing environment for their families. That's what I do for my family, and I would definitely want the same thing for my daughters.
That sounds awesome, awesome, awesome. And it's one of the things that I talk about because, here I am, a female, and I'm always saying, young men need to do this, this, and this. But one of the things I do, try to stress is you need to always be integrous and, value yourself, but also remembering one day you might enter into a partnership with a young lady and you want to be able to provide for that person and be the type person that their dad has been telling them, you expect this and this and this. You don't, just let anybody come into your life and in your space. So I love those tips.
Absolutely.
Yes. Hi, Maria. Thank you for tuning in. A success toolbox can hold many tools that will provide a win-win skills and things that people can use. And that is the millennials, Generation X, and Generation Y in order for them to be successful. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. How can the Bible assist a father in having that win-win relationship with their sons?
Okay. So I live a principled life, and I think it's really important to understand that there are principles in the Bible that work in every situation and circumstance. And I'm a Proverbs person. I like to read Proverbs on a daily basis and understand how to interact with others. It teaches us how to conduct ourselves in different relationships. And I think it's important for fathers to be able to understand how to have patience, because I think Proverbs carries a strong level of patience and kindness and the idea of forgiveness. And I think when fathers foster that kind of environment with their sons and being able to reflect on a regular basis the teachings in the Proverbs, it'll continue to build a harmonious relationship with their sons where they can actually be harmonious in their communities and in the relationships that they build on a consistent basis.
That's awesome. All right. And I guess as well, y'all can put in the chat, what do you think about that? And I'm like you, I love Proverbs. There's just so much wisdom in that book, you know. And so I read it every month. You know, I go through it by date. So yeah, I love it. I never get, it never gets boring because every time you read it, you see something a little bit different.
Right. And, the Bible say train a child up in the way they should go. So, starting early is very important. Spending that time early. I'm a father of daughters, but I had a father, right? And I understood that my decisions weren't the best because my father wasn't always there. And I found myself really pent against other men. And so it's important. I think it's really important for a male's presence to be there, whether it's through mentorships, related uncles, grandfathers, to be able to give those principles early. So when they are old, they have something to cling to and they can continue to operate at a really consistent basis with the biblical scripture.
Yes. Yes, right. We all know that, right? Proverbs 22:6, train up a child. Yes. So, being involved in giving time, love, and support to your child is monumental. It is critical to give time, not just the teaching skills needed, but you have to take that time to listen, talk to them, and help them to understand that they will make mistakes, but together, if you talk it out and explain it, you can repair those mistakes so that they won't carry on into the future. So what is your number one go-to for assisting your daughters to be successful? What is your number one go-to?
My number one go-to for my daughters is really just instilling a strong sense of self-belief and resilience. Be able to encourage themselves to get back up and to keep going. Let them know that they are capable. And, it doesn't matter what the outside world tells them and all the different social norms that we may see that fluctuate on a consistent basis. Let them know that, understand who you are and know that you can do what you set your mind to. So one of the biggest things is I just continue to encourage them to set goals and pursue those goals with their passions and make sure that they understand what determination is. I get back up. I keep going. It might get rough, but I know my target. I want to continue to persevere and continue to reach for that mark. And so it helps them develop the confidence that they need to overcome challenges in the future. And then also it helps them to achieve their dreams, their goals, and aspirations that they set in their lives. And so I really want to emphasize the importance of the education and continuous learning in that aspect. Because it ensures that they have the knowledge they need to continue to make the knowledge and the skills they need to continue to make those successful choices in life.
That's good. And this is kind of like off track a little bit, but in your two call them businesses, for lack of a better word, as you try to assist and help people, with those skills, those leadership skills. Do you, even though someone may come to you for help, how often do you run into someone that even though they ask for help, they really not, receptive to something that they need to really change?
I run into it often. And I think we've all been in the place where we already know the answer or we have all the answers and things in that magnitude. And I told my mom this before. I said, Mom, when I come to you with an issue, I don't want you to confirm my issue. I don't want you to agree with me. I want you to counsel me. And I think a lot of times people do come to us, whether it's in my natural business setting, Unloaded, where I go and speak and then have those one-off conversations after the speaking engagement. And people like, hey, how can I do this? How can I do that? And when they realize the work that may be involved, they might not be so bought in. And, sometimes you have to really kind of pave the way for individuals, soft introductions to certain things so they can actually find that, you know what, I do need this. This will work for me. They might not necessarily be confident in the information. And so, I find that a lot with the leadership development courses because I deal with a lot of leaders. And when you're leading leaders, let me tell you, when you're developing people who already are in position to lead other individuals, it's really tough sometimes to get through some of those underlining beliefs, And so we have to break those things down. And when we break those things down and get to the core of it, it's really values. It's really values. And when we can understand the values and the why, the purpose, and the reason why an individual is doing what they're doing, it's a whole lot easier to be able to convey, practical strategies for them to move forward and be successful.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. I was just wondering. Thank you. All right. Well, can you give us, I always say 5 most times, but can you give us some tools or nuggets that people are young, especially our young men, but it's good for, like I say, mothers, young ladies to put in their toolboxes to use to get their fathers to be a greater assistance in helping their sons and daughters. So what tools can you give to our fathers that will assist them in, providing those tools? Because, we need our fathers to step up. Like you said earlier, something about not being present because they can be present, but not present. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think, Coach, you say something each time when you talk about tools. And I like to always put emphasis on that because we can give a lot of people different things. But it's a tool when we help build, when we utilize the information and knowledge to build, but it becomes a weapon when we use it to break somebody down or to attack another person. So when I talk about tools that can a father can put in their toolbox, whether it's for their daughters or whether it's for their sons or even in relationships, I think one of the biggest is communication, because communication, we have 2 receptors and 2 responders. And if either of those receptors or responders are broken down, communication isn't happening. And so I always tell people, start with active listening. Be very engaged and meaningful with your listening with your children. I know it's easy to do it when you're getting information in school, and it's easy to do it when you're in church and you're sitting down and the pastor speaking. But what about when it's somebody that you're leading? What about your children? And I think it's very important to really be engaged in those meaningful conversations, show genuine interest, and make sure you understand their thoughts and their feelings. It doesn't mean that you have to say that they're right, but you understand where they are. And I think one of the biggest, and I always be the first thing that I'll tell people to put in their toolbox, understand how to communicate on all levels. And then that'll help build trust and foster strengthen your bonds. You have stronger relationships for sure. And that's the first thing. The second thing I would say, outside of active listening, is really to lead by example. This is one of the things that I know that we all do all the time, is that we see what people are doing. My mom always tell me, Isaiah, turn the volume down, watch their life. I know people have a lot of words. I know people have a lot of things that they want to say and project out. Turn the volume down and watch their life. So leading by example, you got to really demonstrate the values and the behaviors that you want to instill in your children. And I think fathers they really have to take this one on, because sometimes we like, man, I'm the dad, and we like, I can do whatever I want. No, demonstrate those values and those behaviors that you want your children to have, whether it's in your daughter or whether it's in your son. I think it's important that our actions speak louder than our words at times, because many of us are visual learners, right? And so we're living in a space where integrity matters. We're living in a space where integrity inspires, and it impacts them on a higher level now when our words matches our actions, right? And so active listening, making sure we communicate. I think it's important to lead by example. The third thing I would definitely put into the toolbox of fathers is encouragement and support. That really fortifies those good behaviors and those great values that we want to instill in our children. And I think we have to be our children's biggest cheerleaders. It doesn't mean that we have to say, hey, everything is great, but we definitely have to promote and push them in the right direction and cheer them on when they're doing those great things. I think encouragement is a way to pursue. It's a way to pursue a great relationship with our children, but it's also a way to create passion and them understand how to support others. So when successes come or when challenges come, we're there to encourage them, to support them, to cheer them on, to back them. I think fathers really got to be there. And so it can't just be moms out at the picnics or the dances. Can't just be mom out at the game. Can't be just mom helping with the schoolwork and things of that magnitude. I think it's important that we be active and make some real proper exchanges. And that really will create a sense of support where our children say, hey, let me go talk to dad about this. Or, hey, let me go talk, have that conversation with dad. It's easy to talk to mom, but it's easy to talk to dad as it is to mom. And sometimes we don't have that avenue open. And I think really being supportive and encouraging allows that to happen for our children. And then what we just talked about is quality time, right? Like so we said, being present. I think quality time is what being present really means. Spend dedicated time with our children, not only with our children, with our spouses, right? Spend that dedicated time with them, engage in activities that they enjoy. Man, I'm a dad, and oftentimes I'm like, man, let's do what I like, right? But it's important to step back and be like, man, let's do what you all like. Let's do what you enjoy. Let's go watch that cartoon. Let's go to the movies and watch that cartoon that I might not be so engaged with, but I might come out with a different perspective. So engaging in those activities, that helps strengthen the relationship. That helps create a lasting memory. And then it also reinforces my commitment to the well-being of my child. So when I spend that quality time, I know a little bit more about what's going on in their lives. They might open up to me and tell me something that I wasn't expecting them to talk about, or I didn't even know what was going on. And so those dedicated times, those slots, they really matter. And if you have some dedicated slots, you'll notice that you'll start creating more undedicated time to your children as well. So it really conditions the parent to be able to make themselves available for their children. That would be number 4. If I had a number 5, I would say number 5, and this is what I'm big on when I talk about leadership, is being practical, teaching practical lessons. Oftentimes I'm a biblical principle person, and I enjoy biblical principles, but God has taught us that we should act. There's things that we should do. And it's important that we teach our children and equip our children with the essential life skills to be able to be financial literate, right? Be effective communicators, be able to problem solve. How many times do we see children get in situations where they can't solve the problem, and then all of a sudden they revert to anger, those emotions that are what we call primitive, right? And then these tools would literally empower them to be able to navigate real challenges in life. And then you'll start seeing those small successes lead to large successes. So, those would be my 5 in a nutshell for fathers to put in their toolboxes, start equipping. And these are things you can equip yourself with now. You don't have to really fight to learn so much about them, but these are things we can do right now and start building strong relationships, win-win relationships with our sons, with our daughters, and even with our spouses, our wives.
Those are good. Now, everybody that's listening, you have got to share this. I mean, who would not want these tools in their toolbox? Because, like you said, hey, these are these tools right here. Everybody can benefit from these, and they don't have to go read a book. They don't have to go and do any research. All of this is practical stuff. Active listening. You need to listen, not so much talking, but listening. And then number 2, lead by example. On here, I say all the time that the millennials, the X's and the Y's, they may sit there and look at you and they listen, but 99.9% of them, they follow what you do, not what you say. So you have to lead by example. They're going to do what they see you do. And then 3, encourage and support. They need to know, hey, you got my back. If I'm in the crowd, if I'm doing something that I'm proud of, if I look, you're there somewhere cheering me on. I know that that you care, you love me. You're not just trying to buy my love, but you're spending the next one, that quality time with me. You're involved. Yeah. And then being practical. Teach me those basic principles. And I don't know why when you were talking, but this came to mind because I don't know about Texas, but here in Florida, I guess they don't teach a lot about finances as far as money, because I guess, most people use credit cards and stuff like that. But, you go somewhere to a fast food restaurant or whatever, and you have cash. And if you say something is $5.26 and you give them a 10 and 26 cents, they don't know what to do. They look at you like,
Coach, let me tell you something. I worked in retail for over 15 years in management, and I can't tell you how many cashiers come in. And now at that time, in the latter of my years, I was having to ask them, can they count money? It was getting that bad because people don't know how to count the 25, the 10, the penny. It's something else. And so I think it's really important. These small practical lessons can what it seems like, it can literally propel you ahead of a large percentage of people nowadays.
All right. Yep. Awesome. I love the tool. So please make sure that you share this video. I know some of you will go and look at it later on. So it will always be out there on Facebook and YouTube. You can find it on Build Your Best Life. But this is a great one. Blueprint for Success. Hey, these tools in this toolbox, they will help you out. So thank you so much, Isaiah. And I want you to tell everybody how they can reach you, get in contact with you, either social media or however, and then give us your closing thoughts.
Absolutely. So you can reach me on social media, all platforms at I Am Unloaded, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X now, what once was Twitter. You can find me there. And you know what? To give you my final thoughts, my brand is called Unloaded. It derived from personal and professional development. I was in a course myself. My mom was training in that course, teaching in that course. And there's 4 characteristics to this brand: unload, unpack, unlock, and unveil. Fathers out there, I want you to unload. I want you to unload your fatherhood. Know what fatherhood looks like. Unload it. Put it out there. I want you to unpack it, right? Start seeing what's valuable in that fatherhood that you have. Your sons, your daughters, those relationships, those interactions. I want you to unlock it. Start utilizing, be active in it, see what's behind those doors when you're engaged. And then I want you to unveil it. Show it to the world. Don't be afraid to hug your sons, kiss your sons and daughters in public. Give it to them, unveil it to the world, expose who you are and what your relationship is with your family, and be unloaded, be unloaded. Enjoy your life because God has given us something so special. He said that our children are gifts. are gifts. And so cherish those gifts and just continue to be great fathers, great dads, and great mentors to those children who may not have them.
Yes, thank you so much. This was great. And thank you, Maria. Maria said this is some great wisdom, and it really is. So I'm looking forward to everyone sharing, and I'm gonna have to go look at this one again. So you might hear some of this stuff again because they were on it. So thank you so much, Isaiah, for coming on. I know you are very, very busy, so I do appreciate you taking the time to come on here and share with Build Your Best Life. And
Yes,
keep up the good work.
Thank you. Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. So everybody, you know that this year we're talking about Blueprint for Success, but we are also declaring Jeremiah 29:11 over everyone's life, because God wants you to have the prosperity that he has for you. He doesn't want you to have disaster, right? Prosperity. And he wants you to have the plans that you hope for. So you need to design your blueprint for success based on the plans that God has given you. Put in the work. You got to put in the work and build your best life. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. It's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. Join us Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you then. And I hope to have you back on again, Isaiah.
I'll be proud to do it.
All right. Bye-bye.